Hello, Wanderers. Welcome back to our Crusader Kings 3 roleplay series following Aegon Blackfyre, the Lord of Storald's Point, the future King Beyond the Wall, and the rightful King of the Seven Kingdoms. And indeed, we do hope to take both of the latter two titles sometime within our lifetime, though, while one of them may be a little bit more difficult than the other. You will see that in between episodes, we have let some time pass. And that is purely because the conquests north of the wall can be a little bit tedious. You're often kind of taking one or two small places at a time. And so I kind of went in and did that in between. And so we may have some small time jumps here. You'll see that our son, Daemon Blackfyre, is now 5 years old. And you'll notice here that he's got this very interesting black streak in his hair. And I think that that is really cool and pretty fitting here. Not only because he is a Blackfyre, but because, as you'll notice, his mother here had black hair. So I like to think that this kind of is kind of fitting. You know, he's a Blackfyre. He's got the black streak of hair. It kind of fits. You know, obviously it came from his mother. It looks cool also. So yeah, we've chosen that for him, and I just think that's going to make this character look really unique and really cool. We are raising him ourselves. We did go and influence his personality so that he would get the ambitious trait. Hopefully he'll end up, we might try to give him the brave trait as well. You know, it might give him a better chance of dying in battle, but also he will be a better fighter. He's already, you know, turning out to get pretty decent stats here all around. So hopefully he'll end up being pretty good. He is bossy, so we're giving him the martial focus here because he's going to need that, no doubt. But yeah, you'll also notice that we have a lot more kids here just in those 4 years. We've had quite a few. So let's just take a look at all of our kids. So you see Daemon Blackfyre here, the heir to the Blackfyre house. Then we have our daughter Ygritte, who's got the more of the wildling coloring to her. But the rest of our children, I believe, are a little bit more Valyrian looking here. You'll see Daerissa here is got the coloring. She is gonna grow up to be a beautiful young woman. Then we've got Amelis here, who also, you know, he's a curious young child. Rhaenys, Aegor, named after Aegor Bittersteel. I have a feeling there's somebody in the comments who's going to appreciate that one. Then we also have, let's see here. Meleys. Did we look at Meleys? We've got Melis here. And then finally, our last son, Magon, who is one of, just one of two of our children who does not have the Valyrian coloring to him. But yeah, those are our children. We're probably going to have a few more because we do have 4 wives. Indeed, 4 wives. I don't know how we keep track of them all. None of them are currently pregnant, but some of them are super badass. I mean, look at High Chiefess Ygritte here. Strong, aspiring blade master. She is skilled fighter. 23 prowess. That is quite good. Our prowess is up at 29 because in one of the battles that we faced over the last couple of years here, we did get that event that brought us up to skilled fighter. So our prowess is doing pretty good indeed. And, you know, overall, we have a pretty strong realm forming here. We've got a lot of the wildlings kind of underneath our banner. Most of them are actually fairly positively inclined, except for a few that we've kind of recently conquered here. But overall, you know, we do have a lot of our people who are pretty favorably inclined towards us. Some of them are North Valyrian, some of them are Forestman, and so the ones who are North Valyrian are essentially wildlings who have decided to learn the Valyrian language in order to ingratiate themselves with Aegon here. One other thing that we did do is we named one of our loyal servants here Vincent Rookblade. We have actually made him the essentially lord or the head man of Hardhome. This is probably, or Hardhome. You'll, if you've watched the show or read the books, you will be pretty familiar with Hardhome. And I imagine that this is, if we had anything of a fleet, I can't imagine it would be much of one. But if we did have a fleet of any kind of ships, that they would be here at Hardhome. So we put a Vale man in charge of that because his family, I do believe, is from, yeah, they appear to be from the Fingers here. So they, are probably pretty familiar with ships and things like that. I imagine, that this is a place where there's a lot of fishermen and things like that coming from these kind of regions, whereas like deeper in the Vale is where you find like the more mountainous lords, timber and mining and thing. But out here in the Fingers, probably fishing is a big thing. So, we put Vincent in charge of that, and potentially we've asked him to build us a fleet that we could eventually use to sail our wildlings south in order to act against King Aegon here, the horrible King Aegon Targaryen, the so-called king of beauty and noblesse. Well, I mean, he's a terrible person, callous, fickle, gluttonous, chaste. I mean, what has he got here? Social figure, interesting. I've never seen this one before. That's pretty cool though. Interesting. Is this a Game of Thrones one, or is this actually just in the base game? He is also a desert warrior. I mean, I guess he did take his training. He was raised by Doran Martell in Dorne, so that probably explains his desert training. But yeah, he is not a good man. Look at all the people that he's slain here. Let's take a look at this. I mean, he's executed all of these people here, including a child, 7 years old here, another one here, just 5 years old. I mean, and not only that, but Princess Marcella the Fair. If you guys have not seen the peak playthrough, definitely go and check that out. There should be a link probably up in the cards, but you should definitely check that out, because what happened to Marcella the Fair was, it was unjust. I think we can all agree that it was, she did not deserve to be executed. She was a silent sister, and yet Aegon went and executed her because she had a claim to the throne. She was the supposed daughter of Robert and Cersei, though, we know better. But for, all intents and purposes, she was the rightful ruler until Aegon came in and took over, made her a silent sister, but then decided that he was actually going to execute her instead. So that is what it is. I did notice that he is actually finally deciding to go against the Iron Islands to bring them back underneath the banner of the Iron Throne here, and we'll see if he manages to pull it off. I suspect he shall, but he's probably going to lose a lot of troops here just through attrition. I mean, taking these islands, not an easy prospect. We'll see. We'll see if he manages to do that without bankrupting himself and, wasting his whole army to attrition. But until then, we will simply have to deal with our own plans. What are our own plans? That is actually pretty interesting here. Now, we've got a couple options. You'll see we've kind of taken over some land here. Well, we really need to go, and if we want to name ourselves King Beyond the Wall, which we've made some progress towards, you'll remember at that Great Moot, we made a very good showing for ourselves, but we need to do more than that. Now, if we take a look here at the Struggle Beyond the Wall, we could potentially get the ending decision here, Storald's Point Dominance, where we would become the King Beyond the Wall. But we need a lot of different things to accomplish that. We need to hold and completely control at least 2 de jure kingdoms beyond the wall. Every de jure county needs to be North Valyria and Far Northern Old Gods. We probably won't actually accomplish this. I don't think we're going to go and go and convert all of the culture here to North Valyrian. It just doesn't make sense. But I would like to get all of the other ones here. And then if this one is not kind of fulfilled, which I don't think it should be, just because it doesn't make sense, we'll probably go and let ourselves fulfill the decision anyways. That's not really going to make a difference to how difficult this is. Really, the hard parts are taking down the other rulers and then getting all the land we need. Converting all this is really just a time waster more than anything. So I'm not going to bother with that. But I want to make sure that we get all of the other requirements first before we take this decision. So, but that's ultimately what we are going for, because we do want to name ourselves King Beyond the Wall. We want to dominate this wildling, the wildlings here, and essentially we're going to do as much as we can to accomplish that before we name ourselves King Beyond the Wall. I think we'll be pretty clear that we are the dominant force here before we take that decision. You know, it's not going to be in doubt that we would be able to call ourselves King Beyond the Wall, and we might just take some more roleplay oriented decisions towards that. One interesting thing regarding that's going to come up, you'll notice that High Chiefess Frenya of Bleakwater, well, weird. Look at her heir. Her heir is Aegon Blackfyre. Well, that is mighty fascinating, and that's because her daughter here, High Chiefess Morna, well, her eldest daughter didn't have any children, and she's only got daughters, most of whom are our wives. Well, her eldest daughter who had a child, and that child was Aegon Blackfyre, so obviously he is the heir to Bleakwater. Now, if he inherits, I'm probably going to go and essentially bring those titles beneath us. The way I see it is, you know, this High Chiefess here, we've got the alliance, you know, all of her daughters are our wives. We've had this strong alliance. I think that she would want her lands to be put in charge of somebody who is strong. We obviously have close ties with her. She likes us quite a bit. And so I think that, yeah, if our son inherits, we're probably just going to take those titles for ourselves. Instead of, you know, letting our son kind of be in his own court and things like that, it just leads to like awkwardness, and it doesn't really make sense like that she would put this child in charge. Essentially, we're going to be holding these lands in lieu of our son until he is old enough to inherit it, which he will do, no doubt, upon our death. So if that happens, we are probably just going to go and switch that up. I think it makes sense. You know, I try not to do too much stuff like that in the base game, but in the Game of Thrones mod, I do like to have a little bit more liberty just to do things in a way that makes sense for the story. The CK3 game is very good for simulating things from the Game of Thrones, but it's not perfect. And, you know, in terms of facilitating the story, sometimes we need to go and do a little, you know, magic with the console and the debug menu and stuff just to make it a little more sense. I don't think anybody would doubt that, you know, if we wanted to go and take Bleakwater, we probably just could do that. But we went and we did it by, you know, killing the husbands of her, you know, like we killed this woman's husband, took her as our wife, and now, you know, our son is the eventual heir to Bleakwater. I feel like that is, you know, a pretty fitting way to bring these lands beneath our banner personally here. So I'm sure most people agree, but maybe some don't. And I would like to, you know, hear you in the comments if you agree one way or another. But yeah, so we're going to be waiting on that. I am going to start time running here. I know I've just rambled on for a few minutes, but that is kind of the setup here, and I think we're going to let time go without doing wars for just a little bit, see what kind of events come up, such as this one. In the deepest places of the world, the peasants of Hardhome are a superstitious bunch, regularly coming to me with claims of sorcerers, giants, and gods in disguise. Usually I ignore such claims as commoner theatrics, But this time they bring evidence. A young peasant boy, his head crushed to powder and pulp, the wailing parents who witnessed his death. The locals insist this is nothing less than the work of a troll and demand I scour nearby woods to dispatch for the creature. I'll kill the beast myself. Damn straight we will. We'll set off with a band of warriors. We'll kill this beast ourselves and, maybe earn ourselves a little bit of a name here. We lose some stress too, which is nice. So let's see if we can kill this troll or whatever it is. It's probably just a bear or something like that. The woods whisper gently as we trudge forwards, holding my small party of retainers in a tight, shadowy embrace. I fancy it's just the wind, but some say trolls sing like the wind when alone. Several disappearances have happened near this clearing, making it likely a camp for the beast. At least, that's what the locals say. An ear-shattering growl reverberates across the grove, and something I'd taken to be a boulder rears up, showing itself to be a positively towering bear. I knew it was a bear. Bears are terrifying. Not a troll, but our quarry still. Death take you, monster. Ooh, we're gonna do this. I mean, 99% chance. Only 1% chance we die. Well, look at that. We slaughter the bear. So we slew the bear with our own 2 hands. Probably not our hands, but our sword, most likely. So we gain a bear slayer here, which same culture opinion, 20. That's not helpful because there's not a ton of North Valyrians, but it's still a nice little bonus. And then we got some prestige. We lost a lot of stress, so things are going pretty good. Daemon's first teething. With my leave, my son Daemon and his wet nurse parade into my chamber. Osha poses like a herald and proclaims, "My liege, you witness a monumental occasion. Daemon has a mighty gift to offer you." Go ahead, Daemon, tell him. "Father, I lost a tooth." My son proudly presents his toothless smile, handing me a pouch with the fallen tooth inside. "Lovely, but keep your tooth as a good charm. Here, a gift befits a gift. I don't have time for this." I feel like, we are ruthless. I feel like we don't have time for this. Our poor son, hopefully he won't grow up with too much fatherly neglect here, but, well, we have to act like our character here. I'm willing to release Cat Eyes from my care. This was one of our warriors who was imprisoned during a battle. I think we can accept Cat Eyes was very capable. In fact, they were a very capable caravan master, if I remember correctly. 1422. That's a nice bonus to each of these, actually. So, Cat Eyes, you can go back into that position here. Oh, and look at this. Vincent has had a daughter, Brienne Rookblade. I took Gorn out playing with a bow, and to my surprise, he ran into a wounded doe. He later lashed out at me, thinking I had staged the whole thing. Was a test, then show me you could have failed the animal for yourself. Yeah. Show me, boy. There we go. So you can see that our 2 wards are our son and Gorn's Sealcut, who we took as a hostage. Find a rare moment alone with Gorn, giving up my usual lessons on both worldly and pious, but the boy seems to have something else in mind. I've been fascinated with your illustrious house, uncle. Oh yeah, and he has kind of taken to us, and he kind of has been seeing us more as an uncle than anything else. We've made him loyal to us, and this is part of us, developing this culture where these, the new generation worships us much as a god. Can you tell me some legends of the House of Blackfyre? Have you heard of King Daemon of the Blackfyre House? Yeah, or I am something of a legend myself. I think that we are going to tell him of King Daemon of the Blackfyre House, the first Blackfyre pretender, although not a pretender. He was the legitimate heir to the throne as far as I am concerned. No doubt. And I'm sure you all agree. Do you not? Go, like I said, if you haven't gone and looked at the history of the Blackfyres, I do believe I link the information from the wiki down in the description. So go and check that out if you haven't already. But yeah, it is pretty interesting, pretty fascinating. And I would highly recommend you go and check that out. So we're in a pretty good position here. We've got, our prestige is pretty decent. We're exalted among men. We've got a ton of income because I went and did some raids, and there's not really too much we can do with that money. I mean, we can build up the Palisades. That wouldn't be too bad, actually. So we'll do that. Still leaves us with a fair amount of money. But what are we going to do? What's our next kind of big step towards subjugating the lands beyond the wall? Well, I think that we have King Howd here. King Howd of Ice Lakes. He's a great warrior, a strong leader. I think that if we can bring him down, if we can cow, there's essentially really 2 or 3 kind of really strong wildling tribes here. We've got the Flatfangs, House Clanbreaker here, or Clanbreaker. King Carlon the Troubadour. We went to his tournament. We had a good showing there. Y'all remember this guy's crazy. Cannibal, murderer, sodomite, poet, adulterer, infirm, yet still has 42 prowess. Like he's got minus 16 prowess here from his old age and his infirmity, and he's still at 42. This guy would be at a 58 normally. He's insane. He is insane. He's one of the strongest warriors in the world, and he's 64 years old. So, I mean, this guy's crazy. Then we have the Ice Lakes here, King Howd of the Ice Lakes. He's pretty strong too. You can see, I mean, he's strong, skilled fighter. He arbitrary, callous, gregarious, calm. This guy's a sociopath, like absolute sociopath, and that makes him very dangerous. Well, these two are probably the strongest of the wildling leaders here, and we're going to need to do something about them both. Whether that means destroying them or cowing them one way or another, we'll have to deal with that. The Thens are not that powerful. They're kind of keeping to their valley here. Everybody else is, not really too much to worry with. Pale Mountains, they're, relatively strong here, but ruled by a boy. Same with Milkwater. Walrus Bay is a little bit strong, but nobody else is really too much. And then Bleakwater. Bleakwater is probably the 3rd strongest, other than us, between Flatfang, the Ice Lakes, and then Bleakwater here. And we're gonna essentially inherit Bleakwater in probably not too long, considering this the High Chiefess is 63 years old. Well, we're gonna act against Ice Lakes first, and what I would like to do is probably do a kingdom invasion. We could subjugate him. It would take his primary title. I mean, this might be the better option, frankly, do a subjugation war against them. We could invade the kingdom. We could invade the kingdom of the First Force. That's going to give us all of this land. But subjugating this guy might be the better option here. That's going to give us the Ice Lakes title here. And it's going to give us all this land. And then when we inherit Bleakwater, we're going to have basically the entire eastern coast here. That's going to be a huge boost in power. We only got 1 subjugation war, but this is probably going to be the most beneficial one. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. We've got the allies. He has no allies. We're going to declare that war, and we are going to hopefully destroy him. We're going to call in our allies here. Let's call in, well, we can't call in the Jagged Hills, but we can call in Eagle Grove, and we will call in Bleakwater, even though I think she is dealing with a little bit of a rebellion here. So I don't think that she'll have too much trouble with that, though. We're going to raise up our troops. Let's see. Might as well raise them closer to where we're going to need them. So I'll raise them up here. And yeah, let's deal with our enemy here. So this is kind of the big war. This is when Aegon, he comes back from that great moot. He didn't really get, all the respect, but he earned some respect. But I imagine that the king of the Ice Lakes here does not consider, will not easily bend a knee to, you know, Aegon Targaryen. So, or Aegon Blackfyre, I should say. And so we're going to need to go and deal with that personally. And so that's what we're going to do. We got 6,000 troops, you guys. We have a massive army. We are going to, we can have Cat Eyes lead them. Cat Eyes is pretty good. All right. We'll have Cat Eyes lead them. We're going to go and we're going to head probably north here and just go and try to hit their army, take them down in one big battle. And this is going to be, yeah, this is going to be probably our biggest conquest for the next little while here. I might switch over and just lead the troops ourselves when the time comes, because, you know, we got to prove ourselves. Strategical impasse. I'm sitting around the map table with Chieftain Garrick and Chieftain Orrell. They both have some ideas. My companions can act as they each see fit. Chieftain Garrick has the right idea here. We could gain improved offense, which is good. I'm going to do that. Yeah, we need the offense. And we're being called in to join a war. Yeah, all right. So we're going to join the war to assist our ally, which is fine. Looks like she's got it well in hand anyways. So yeah, we're going to, oh, and look at that. Yeah. We should be able to handle this pretty well here, I suspect. Looks like they're going to, yeah, okay. He's trying to catch our allies here, which is going to work, but our allies are holding them in place just long enough for us to probably try and reach them. Daemon is... Gorn Sealka. Daemon is being bullied by our... Or Gorn is being bullied by our son. Yeah, whatever. We don't... Whatever. You can stand up for yourself, kid. If you can't stand up for yourself, then... that's not my fault. I see. He saw something that he shouldn't have. Not being more intimate than necessary would serve you well. Yeah, very well. All right, let's see if we can catch the enemy army here. Okay. Looks like we'll have the advantage here. All right. Yeah, so we split their army, which is good because we should have pretty strong advantage. Change in circumstances. Okay. So now Gorn is our vassal. Very good. It's not our hostage, but I think he's still our ward in any case. There we go. Yeah, we crushed the armies that were going up against our ally and the forces of the King of Ice Lakes there. So helping out our ally and, you know, accomplishing our own goals as well. Actually, no, those were just the Ice Lakes army. So we're going to go in here and we're going to try to help out our ally really quickly here so that they can focus on helping us. Let's see if we can get in here quickly enough. We might be able to, oh, there we go. Should be able to catch them. We're going to crush this small army. Our ally is going to be able to come in and we won't have to worry about the rebellion here. Oh, wow. Raymond clove Kylig in half. Look at this guy, Berserker. Wow, this guy's so good. Our acclaimed knight. Damn. I'm going to have to give him some land after this. So, yeah, there we go. We're going to crush this enemy army here. Probably going to give some decent war score. 50%, not so bad. All right, let's head up to the enemy capital. Our allies should be able to kind of manage their own stuff, and I'm not too worried about the enemy forces here. We have a pretty big army here, so yeah, I'm not particularly worried about it. And we're gonna have a massive army once we conquer this land. I mean, we're already at 6,000 troops. I wonder how many we're gonna be once we bring the Ice Lakes beneath our banner. You know, this is how you make yourself king beyond the wall. Is like you cow everybody in submission. If they won't just bend the knee to you, and you know, these are not people who bend the knee. Some of them may follow you out of respect and as equals, but they're not going to easily bend the knee, if they will bend the knee at all. And, well, we're going to have to show them that if you will not submit, then we will make you submit. And here, look at this. Aegon going up against King Howd himself. Well, let's show him that you cannot stop the Blackfyres. And look at this. Our army is just crushing him. Absolutely. We don't even need our allies. Our chiefess, yeah, look at this. Chiefess Harma just went and rampaged through the enemy army here. He's barely got any troops left. We're going to go straight into his capital, siege it down, imprison anyone who looks like they might be valuable. We'll take a look at the battles here. The slaughter at Roveg's Canal. Look at that. This was that last battle there. We'll take a look at the events. Yeah, rampage through the soldiers, became a berserker. We captured Chieftain Gavin. Yeah, take a look at that. Slaughter at Forest Sands. Once again, just another slaughter here. The events from that. We did lose Chiefess Harma. She was strangled by her own intestines. But yeah, doing some damage ourselves. And then the slaughter at Bone Lark Vale. Once again, another one, which our Captain Raymond clove Kyleg in half. So yeah, 3 slaughters. He didn't stand a chance. This is how you make yourself king beyond the wall. This is how it is done. We're going to siege down their capital. Hopefully that'll give us the war score we need, but we'll have to see. And if it doesn't, then we'll just have to go and siege down some other lands if we need to. We are being called in to join in the raid for captives against Keening Regis. All right, we can accept. We should be assisting our allies whenever we get the opportunity to. So, and there we go. We get another perk. I think we're going to go for probably engineered for destruction. That's going to be useful to us, especially since we're doing a siege right now. And we do have some siege weapons in our army. So that's going to make things quick. The wildling forces are not... Oh, what? Please accept this humble gift. Who are you? Chieftain Soren the Insane of Swill Rock. Huh. Interesting. Maybe he wants us to vassalize him. Very interesting. Very well. Thank you for your gift. We may consider bringing you beneath our banner. There we go. Our ally won that war, due largely to our help. And then we, what do we have here? The realm needs a secure plan. And I'm sure that you agree that I'm the best possible candidate. Ooh, making a little power play here, Hedman Vincent. Very interesting. We could designate him as our future regent. An abuse of power. You know what? He makes the play. Let us accept. Yeah, you can be our regent, Hedman Vincent. Very good. Nice little power play there by the AI here from this character here. Oh, and look at that. Well. You know what? We are going to go to the negotiating table with a little bit of an advantage and force our demands. What can we do here? We can demand a hostage from him. Are these his daughters? That's the question. No, it's his sister. Can we bring Val? You know what? I think we're going to demand his daughter as a hostage. That way he can't act against us even if he tries. So we get the Ice Lakes. We gain 350 fame. We gain a lot of this. We gain a lot of vassals. Look at that. Enforce our demands. You are not a king, High Chieftain Howd. You are but our servant. And boom, look at that. We are now a mighty king. We are a king beyond the wall, but we are not the king beyond the wall. We have a lot more work to do in that regard, but we will continue that work in the next episode. Until then, Wanderers, thank you for watching. I will see you in the next one.